You did no financial preparation for starting a family.
I can't wait to be a stay-at-home dad.
Who in here is thinking long-term?
Part of me right now would love to stay home until he's in kindergarten. Unfortunately, that's not financially possible.
Where is the money coming from?
Money, 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 money.
My name's Richard. I'm a paramedic, and I make a base salary of approximately $69,000 a year.
My name is Jackie. I am 30 years old, and I am a high school teacher, and I'm currently on maternity leave.
And we have a 5.5-month-old son named McLean.
We decided to try for a baby. We tried for a little while without any success.
So we were referred to a fertility specialist.
That was successful, and we did get pregnant. The treatment, it cost about $3,000. Looking back now, we're kicking ourselves for not paying it off when we had the opportunity. Look at the little baby shoes. What do you think? We didn't really plan for the stuff that comes along with the baby.
Turns out, babies are expensive.
I think he said, yeah, I think you should get it.
All right.
Total today is $324.10.
Yikes. When the baby comes out, baby's only this big. And then all stuff that has to go with that baby could fill a truck.
The stupid things that are only $20 or $40 or $60, those are the things that end up costing us.
Your total is $111.49, please.
One of my biggest frustrations with Rich is his impulse shopping.
I'm fully aware of that, and that doesn't even slow me down. I just power right on through.
Probably one of the most irresponsible things was buying into our timeshare.
Yeah, that was a $10,000 impulse buy.
In the next little while, I'm gonna go back to work, and Rich is gonna take paternity leave.
I can't wait to be a stay-at-home dad. I really am looking forward to it.
I am very afraid of what I'm gonna miss. His first steps, when he does start to laugh more often, those kind of things. I always thought that I would love going back to work. Part of me right now would love to stay home until he's in kindergarten. Unfortunately, that's not financially possible. My bank account is perpetually overdrawn.
Worrying about the money has affected the relationship. Tempers have been a little short recently in the past few months.
I worry far more about the money than Rich does. Part of that is because I take care of the money.
I'm very apathetic.
I look at the bills, and it does keep me up a little bit more than it does Rich, for sure.
We need help. We absolutely need help. It's most important that one of us is home to be with him all the time.
That is so important to us right now.
This month, I'll help these parents stay in the black while bringing up baby. I have been solving money problems for over 20 years, tackling everything from high finance to low income. I help people understand money and debt and how to balance it all with the priorities of parenting. Jaclyn and Richard love their family, but not their financial situation. They're planning for Richard to stay at home with baby, but they're not willing to give up anything for that privilege. I'm here to help them get it right. Hi, Gail Vaz-Oxlade.
Jackie.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I'm Richard.
Nice to meet you, Richard.
Pleasure.
If you don't mind, the first thing I'd like to do is just drop my bag and have a quick look around. This isn't a fancy house, but Jackie and Richard have filled every floor with baby gear. The basement and the baby's room. Look at all the clothes with the tags still on. Lots and lots of clothes with the tags still on. This baby's very special. When you worked that hard to get this baby, was it because you needed a good excuse to go shopping?
I hadn't thought about that.
You're lovely people, and you have a beautiful, beautiful baby. But he is depending on you. Mm-hmm. Who in here is thinking long term?
I'll shut up now.
How many more babies are coming up behind?
I did want a big family, and now I just want to make sure he's not an only child.
So you want to have more children. Mm-hmm. You want to buy a house.
Yes.
You want to have vacations.
Yeah.
You want to stay home with the baby. Where's all the money coming from?
Yeah, that's a problem.
Where is the money coming from? You did no financial preparation for starting a family. You spent money you didn't have so that on top of a reduced income, you have debt repayment. And you want to be a stay-at-home dad, but you don't want to have to give up anything for the privilege of staying home.
Yeah, she summed that up pretty quick.
So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the black and white of your numbers, because it is the numbers, I hope, that will bring home the problems that you have, and then we can talk about some solutions, okay?
Okay.
So, here's your debt. Mr. Jolly over there has nothing funny to say.
Absolutely, it's much bigger than it should be.
People, you take home more than $100,000 a year,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and you can't live on it.
We've managed things so poorly, it's a little embarrassing.
You want to know how you got into this mess? You went shopping on the first and the first and the first and the first and the second and the third and the fifth and the fifth and the fifth and the fifth and the 13th and the 13th and the 13th and the 16th and the 19th and the 19th and the 19th and the 26th 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 and the 26th. 26th was a big day. And the 29th and the 30th.
Oh, wow.
That's 1 month. $3,743 on stuff. Before baby came, you had a net income of about $8,800 a month. Right now, your income is $5,200 a month. So right now, you're spending on your debt costs almost 65%.
Wow.
Lord, love a duck. And then we come to life, 87%. More than 3 times what it should be.
Yeah, that's a large percentage. It's a very large percentage.
We definitely need to rein in the life spending. We just don't have it.
The thing that concerns me about your situation is that you have this thing about one of you staying home with the baby. This debt isn't going away unless you pay it off.
Right.
On mat leave, you were overspending every month by $4,800 a month.
Wow.
And if you stay on track, you'll be $480,000 in debt in 5 years. That's without a home, without a second child.
$500,000 in debt in 5 years. That was an eye-opener. It really was.
So, will you do anything that I ask over the next few weeks so I can help you solve this problem?
Yep.
So, this month, you are going to get this debt paid off. You are going to learn to live within your means, whatever those means may be. And you're going to start practicing your stay-at-home dadness.
Okay.
Over the next few weeks, I'm going to give you a series of challenges to do. If you do all the challenges to my satisfaction, I'll give you up to $5,000 to help you pay down the debt. If you don't do the challenges, you don't get the money. If you don't have the right attitude, you don't get the money. The next thing I need to do is get me your debit cards and your credit cards. Today is the day you begin to tighten your belts.
Okay.
Coming up, that's a very childish thing to say.
It is.
Yeah, step closer, let me smack you.
Money, 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 money.
Jackie and Rich couldn't wait to become parents.
It was a lot of time and emotion and money that went into trying to get pregnant.
Now that baby Mac is here, they don't want to leave his side.
I'm very excited to be a stay-at-home dad.
Their reckless spending has landed them in the poorhouse, and their dreams of another baby are on hold.
That's in the back of our mind all the time, is how much more is it going to cost a second time?
To get there, they'll have to follow my rules. For the next month, these parents will learn to live on a strict cash budget. No more credit cards. They'll complete weekly challenges to tackle their money and relationship issues. And if they're willing to change, I'll reward them with thousands of dollars to pay down their debt. No changes, no money. Give me those cards. You got a lot of cards. Okay, now that you're not living on credit anymore, you're going to have to learn to live on cash, but you're not going to have all the cash you had before. I'm going to cut your variable spending by 71% from just under $4,400 a month to just under $1,300 a month.
That's a lot. We're wasting a lot of money.
It's going to play out like this. You're going to have $100 a week for food. That's $400 a month compared to the $1,000 we saw you putting in your face earlier. You're going to have $102 in change for transportation.
I can do that.
Yeah.
$25 a week for entertainment. You don't go anywhere or do anything now.
No, I have a baby.
Clothing and gifts? Nothing. Other, $40 a week. $50 a week for baby supplies.
That right there is the one that's going to kick me right in the teeth.
I'm actually kind of excited that she cut it by that much. I think we can do it.
So you want to know what your challenge is this week?
Can't wait.
Yeah, I bet you can't. So this is the week where we nail stuff down. We're going to make a debt repayment plan and a budget for when you go back to work. Okay, Jackie? And then you're going to make as many budgets as you need to demonstrate to me that you know how to plan ahead. So you may end up with 2 or 3 budgets. Make sense?
Yep.
Good.
I'm a little overwhelmed just with how many scenarios I think I need to come up with.
Having one parent at home is important to this couple. And because Jackie earns more, it makes sense for her to work full-time. But living on one income is going to be tight.
Car payment is $336.
Tolls, taxi, parking?
No, we just have to stop taking the toll highways. Clubs and unions you can take out, and restaurants you can take out.
That's unfortunate.
I know.
Yep. That's our budget. Give Daddy back his money.
All right, $50 for baby toys, $50 for baby clothes.
We did max out on our debt repayment because we want a larger family and we want a home of our own. So in order to accomplish those, we have to do this first.
Let's leave the things that have to stay the same. Rent stays, utilities is the same. Retirement savings,
We're gonna work till we die.
groceries and personal care. I don't think that's gonna change, unfortunately.
No, unfortunately, I like to eat. We're not cutting drastically enough. So we need to find like another $1,200 that we can shave off.
Family and gifts,
What's it at?
75.
Okay.
It's really gonna kill me to drop that.
Yeah, it's a sacrifice, right?
And you
It's
think
mostly
vacation is
your family for both, so you should really make that call.
maybe take nothing off of either?
I think it's because we did that got us in this mess. Do you want me to make the decision?
Sure. No. That's a bad decision. Why do you not love my family?
I do love your family, so we'll take off 25.
Okay, well that sucks. But it's something.
In the end, even the small decisions had a big impact.
Everything's balanced. Are you happy with that?
Happy being a relative term?
Yeah.
I would say yes.
We're good. All right.
She's really detail-oriented, isn't she?
She really is.
She likes to nail things down.
She really does.
I got an encyclopedia of budgets from her. She did work really
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah.
Do you feel better prepared now?
Very much so, yes.
It's like it doesn't matter what happens, you're just going to haul out the right budget, right?
That'll make our lives just a little bit easier, a little bit more relaxed, and it'll allow us to pay down the debt a little bit faster.
Once the debt's repaid, you can take the money that you're allocating to debt repayment and reallocate it. You've gone from paying off past sins to planning for the future.
Yeah.
It's nice to have a path that you can be on. Okay, so how are the jars this week?
Great.
Yeah? Do you have any money left?
Oh, yeah.
We don't have as much left in food. It's really changing the way that at least I look at shopping and how we do things.
I take my money with me. I know what we're going to get. We're price shopping. I have a little thing to cut coupons out now. We're writing down prices of things in the grocery store.
Because the thing is that at some point down the road, you're planning to have another child. And once again, even after you've straightened all this out, you're going to have to tighten your belt.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you some practice this month. Here comes your next challenge. You want to be a stay-at-home dad? You're going to have the opportunity to vacuum, shop, and clean to your heart's content. For this next challenge, Jackie and Rich are going to have to practice living on one income. I'm replacing their jars with smaller ones so they'll have even less money.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Absolutely, it's going to be a challenge.
That's going to be not a whole lot of money.
Coming up.
I think only real men change diapers.
Money, 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 money. Money, 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 money.
New parents, Jackie and Richard, are determined that one of them will stay home with their baby.
All right.
Thank you.
But they're struggling with the necessary sacrifices. With Jackie returning to work soon, it's now or never. I'll give them up to $5,000 if they can show me they've learned to cut back before it all comes tumbling down. Rich took to being a stay-at-home dad like a duck to water. He even kept tabs on the baby-sized jars while spending like they're a single-income family.
If we're going to have another baby, we need to be able to cut even more or find money in other places. So this is going to be a good way to do it. If we can see how little we can spend, then that would be great.
Jackie and Rich spared no expense when it came to outfitting the nursery the first time around. When it comes to baby number 2, they're going to have to shop a lot smarter. So I sent Jackie to meet with parenting expert Kathy Buckworth to get the lowdown on bargain hunting for baby.
I noticed on your list here that you've got 75 onesies here, and that number's sort of jumping out at me.
Yeah, I knew we had a lot, but I didn't realize it was sort of our entire existence right now.
My only sort of qualifier on this is I know that babies grow so quickly, and we're not always sure what season they're going to be in when they're wearing that size.
Right, okay.
So when you're looking for new clothes, I would suggest actually buying the size that they need now.
Okay. I always thought, okay, it's on sale, so I'm going to grab it, but I hadn't really thought about the seasons versus size.
One of the things you've got on your to-buy list is a double stroller, and it's pretty expensive to get a double stroller.
Yeah, they are.
I think you're right. You've indicated there are a few $100s. So we just wanted to show you that there are some name brands here in store. $70, $100. And I know it's sometimes nice to get something that's sparkly and new and all the rest of it, as opposed to one that's maybe had a little bit of wear and tear. But honestly, after you've had it for a couple of weeks, it's going to be in the same condition.
Right. I think we pretty much could have outfitted the nursery almost completely using secondhand stuff.
It's really important to set a budget when you have a new baby. So really do a bit of research and try to keep the emotion out of your child purchases.
You made a good inventory, and when you added it up, were you surprised at what you had spent?
Oh, yeah.
Baby crap's expensive.
It is. I tried selling things on different websites to try and make some of the money back.
What kinds of things have you posted?
We posted some clothing that had tags on it still that we just never got to wear. There was a couple play mats.
One of the diaper disposal units?
Yep.
What would you say your biggest lesson so far has been?
That I was using Mac to shop.
Yeah.
And that was horrible to hear, but it was true.
But really what you were doing was scratching your own consumer itch, because Mac doesn't have one yet.
No.
Tough week.
It was long.
The whole experience makes me realize the amount of work that's involved.
And then you had to be living on those little tiny jars.
Yes.
Was it hard?
Some of them. Some of the
Yeah.
jars were harder than others.
Food.
Food was hard.
Do you want to hear what you're going to do next?
Can't wait.
So there are things that you want to achieve, and this week is your opportunity to figure out how you're going to achieve that. So this week, what you're going to do is you're going to create a 5-year plan that will help you make your dreams into reality.
It's kind of exciting to look at setting some goals, to actually put it down on paper. I know things aren't really real unless you actually put them down and start to make plans towards them. So I'm really looking forward to that.
I have set goals. I've absolutely intended to keep them. I don't think I ever did. I think the only thing I ever really wanted to do and actually managed to accomplish was marry Jackie.
Any questions?
I don't think so.
Okay, so see you next week.
Great.
Okay. Coming up, tell me on a scale of 1 to 10 how well you did.
Money, 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 money. Money, 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 money.
This month, I've been helping Jackie and Richard plan for having a parent stay at home with baby Matt. They found a way to manage the household on a single income. And I gave Richard a taste of full-time daddyhood. They can earn up to $5,000 if they complete all my challenges. So this week, I told them to look to the future and set some goals.
Gail's challenged us to do a 5-year plan.
Right.
So we have to figure out all of our big goals that we have, where we're going to put those. So what do you want to start with?
Now that your brother is engaged and getting married in August,
Yes.
I think travel should be our first thing.
So that was
because we're going to have to head down to Texas.
We have to plan, we have to save, and we need to be there. So August is the wedding. That one's a for sure. Okay, so debt-free. I think it's September of year 2. That's worst case. It felt great to plan the goals out for the next 5 years. Okay, so theme park.
Let's go tomorrow.
No, I don't think Gail's gonna be too happy with that.
What about if Mac and I go? It could be like a guy's bonding thing.
Veto.
Okay, what are we planning for year 5?
Long weekend in August?
The goal-setting process was enlightening. Well, for one thing, we're looking more than, 5 or 10 minutes down the road.
We don't need a ton of things to prepare for baby number 2.
I think we put baby in year 2 or end of year 1. And I think we should start saving for fertility, even if it's just a little bit.
Okay, and then maybe actively pursuing fertility treatments here.
Why don't you put baby in January of year 2?
Okay, so you're happy with the 5-year plan?
Are you happy with it?
Yeah.
I'm happy with it.
Their 5-year plan included extra activities for baby, so Rich went to check out a baby sign language class.
Or we would like some more. Take something, pretend you're holding something in your mouth and you're going to put it in, then we're going to be eating. Yes, and we're going to be eating.
It's always a good experience to be around other parents and their kids for a variety of different reasons. She can swap stories, especially when the kids are the same age. It's a great experience. Robin, she gave me a number of different resources to look into to find different types of classes and different locations and different things to do, just to keep Mac occupied, active, and engaged.
Yay, good for us.
How was the week?
It's great.
You did a lot of work on your goal setting.
I learned just how organized Jackie can be. Every challenge that we did, she wanted to make sure that everything conceivable was done to meet Gail's satisfaction. And
Overall, what do you think the big lesson was going through the last 4 weeks?
to watch where the money goes.
Yeah.
Because we both make a decent wage, then to say, oh, this is only 20 bucks, well, that's nothing. It's my grandmother used to say, take care of the pennies and the pounds take care of themselves. I'm gonna pass on to Mac setting goals and knowing what you want so that you can work toward it.
When I got here, you guys wanted another baby, but weren't making any plans for it. And you'd actually spent so much money on credit for the first baby that on top of having a reduced income for mat leave, you also had debt repayment to meet. And you wanted to be a stay-at-home dad, but you really weren't sure what you were prepared to give up to get it. You're actually overspending by $5,000 a month.
Wow.
Well, we fixed the problem. You now have a budget that balances, you have a debt repayment plan, you have a 5-year plan. Man, you're laughing! So, tell me on a scale of 1 to 10 how well you did.
9,
1.5.
probably 9.
I'm not gonna split hairs with you, okay? You did a 10.
Lovely. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. I also have for you a $200 travel voucher to help you with your trip to go to your brother's wedding.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
There you go.
Thank you so much.
You are very welcome.
If Gail hadn't come into our lives when she did, I mean, we wouldn't be where we are now. The transformation in the past few weeks has been amazing.
Came into this whole process thinking I'm probably not going to learn a lot about myself, more about my spending, but not a lot about myself, and I did, and that was really great. So I really appreciate that.
8 weeks later, Richard is happily staying at home full-time with Mac, while Jackie has returned to work. They're still living on the jars and are on track to be debt-free in under 2 years.
Money, 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 money. Money, 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 money.